the top team in the PGCBL makes their way north to take on a team that's offensively hitting their groove. An East Division rivalry starts once more in a doubleheader here in Eastfield in Glens Falls. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham, joined alongside Luke LaRose. And Luke, we got to go back to the 4th of July, the last time the Glens Falls Dragons took the baseball field. It was a pitcher's duel through the first 4 innings, and then in the 5th, after trailing 1-0, Glens Falls erupted for 6.
Erupted for 6 and a complete inning. I believe they batted around that inning. They had a lot of help from a lot of guys you wouldn't think of helping the team offensively. Guys like James Houghton and Tate Van Alsten, who hit a triple in that inning, really helped the team out in that win.
A completely different lineup, one that head coach Ryan Dion was not used to putting out. Some new faces, some guys that maybe weren't getting a ton of playing time in 2025. They were getting the start in that game, and like you mentioned, the triple that started it all from Tate Van Alsten, and it just seemed to pile on. Walks, hits, errors. That 5th inning was explosive. The Dragons would add on another run in the 6th and hold on to take the 7-1 win over Boonville, and their first win over the Lumberjacks since the beginning of June. Either way, though, they now have to turn their focus to this doubleheader against the best team in the PGCBL, period. Over the last 14 years, Amsterdam has won 9 PGCBL championships. They are known for producing electric-level talent, in large in part because of how they hit the ball, Luke. This season, they've got 58 extra base hits. That's 3rd in the PGCBL, only 3 behind first place. But they have hit 23 more than Glens Falls.
Yeah, you look just at the stats real quick for the extra base hits. You got guys like number 15, Chris Holcraft. He's got 6 doubles on the year. Guys like McCrane has 5 combined. Bray Touchstone, who's in the lineup tonight, he's got 7. Jake Long's got 7. They can hit the ball with some pop. All those guys just slug over 500.
It's not just one person in this Mohawk lineup that can swing it. It's everybody that can swing it. They're used to putting the ball in play, used to hitting it a far ways, and bringing in runs. They also utilize the walk quite a bit. They lead the PGCBL in walks so far this year, while being the team that strikes out the fewest in the PGCBL as well. But you mentioned the fact that a lot of players in this lineup, they get on base. Well, how about we run you through how Amsterdam lines up, at least here in Game 1. It's led off by their center fielder, the speedy Luke Philippi. In the 2-hole is Chris Holcraft. He'll be over at short. Brandon McCrane is over at first. He's in the 3-hole, and hitting cleanup is the right fielder, Will Cohen. The extra hitter is Bray Touchstone. Again, Amsterdam unlocking for that 10-man lineup. Danny Perez is hitting 6. He's behind the dish. John Young Jr. is over at second base. He's hitting 7. Wes Walker will be the DH. He'll be 8. Sebastian Harding is hitting 9. He's out and left, and rounding out the lineup is Peyton Jemison. You mentioned a couple of names there, Luke, but this is just a lineup top to bottom that can hurt you at any time.
Yeah, I want to look at Brandon McCrane hitting 3rd. He's hitting .329, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. I think most notably he's got 23 RBIs. That leads the team.
23 RBIs for a team that brings in more runners than anybody else does in the entire league. It's something that you'll hear quite often throughout the broadcast, is just how much Amsterdam has put themselves well out in front of every other team, even in a down year by their standards, sitting at just 18-6-1. On the other side, though, Glens Falls, they're putting out arguably their best roster, trying to formulate the most amount of offense they can. And it's led off by their speedy center fielder in Tyree Jackson. The best hitter on the team, Trent Jenks, he'll be the designated hitter in the 2 spot. Aiden Gallagher, the guy that we know can hit the ball a mile, he'll be in left hitting 3. The classic cleanup guy, Gino Savoca, who's known to go get his walks but make some excellent defensive plays, he's in the cleanup hole. He'll be over at second. Joe Carpier's is at short. Robert Mello is out in right field. He'll be hitting 6. Cameron Biller pitched and closed out that game against the Lumberjacks, is now back on the field, this time over at first. Joe Haynes will be behind the dish. We know what he could do offensively. And rounding out the 9-man lineup for Glens Falls is the third baseman, Michael Sweeney. So back to maybe your traditional starters if you're Glens Falls, but there's really kind of this offense needs to come together and click similarly to how they did on the fourth, Luke.
Yeah, so back to the meat and potatoes lineup. Really, really solid, back to traditional. I like Tyree Jackson at top all the way through. I like how this lineup is constructed. But if we want to pick one player to watch, I want to talk about the guy starting tonight's game. That's Dylan Harding. Last time we saw him at Eastfield, he was PGCPL Pitcher of the Week. 6 inning, 2 hits, 2 walks, no earned runs. Didn't get the win, but led them to a massive, massive win over Mohawk Valley.
And he wasn't done there. His last time that he took the pitching mound was out on June 29th. That was down in Saugerties in a 5-4 win for the Dragons, where he went another quality start. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, did allow a run, which was earned, but he didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 1. So he wasn't inherently not finding the zone. He was locating it everywhere he needed to be. Just got hit around a little bit and ended up giving up a run. So we're set for the national anthem here at Eastfield, so we'll step aside for just a couple minutes.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, their bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Time for some Dragons baseball, but first, Matt, back up to you, my friend.
So we're back here at Eastfield with the Dragons out on the field. We're getting ready for first pitch, and we were talking about Dylan Harding and how impressive he's been, not just this last time out, but 2 times out. Was named PGCBL player or pitcher of the week once already, but now he's got to do that against a lineup that just knows how to mash baseballs, and they know how to mash it quite a far way nonetheless. On the flip side, for the Mohawks will be Tristan Hunter. He'll be getting his 3rd start this season as he warms up along the third base line. But Hunter's last appearance came a day before Harding's did on June 27th, where he went just 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, allowed 2 runs, both of which were earned, but he did strike out 4 and only allowed 2 walks. So impressive outing from Tristan Hunter, who hasn't gotten a ton of action here in 2025, but will be asked to do and eat up quite a bit of innings in this doubleheader.
Yeah, so good stretches of games for him. He's got a 3.6 ERA on the year. He's really solid. Notably, hasn't really gone deep. Only pitched 5 innings, I believe, the whole year through. So Glens Falls is going to need to take advantage of that to win that.
Came in once out of relief and then got the start back on the 27th. It's still an important game for Glens Falls. Anytime you take on the best team in the PGCBL, like Amsterdam, it's always going to be an important game. But the Dragons, they sit just 3 games out of that elusive playoff spot. And for a team like the Dragons that want to get back there, they're ever so close. Ahead of them, though, is the Utica Blue Sox, who Glens Falls has yet to see this year and won't see until July 23rd. They were supposed to meet at the end of June, that game getting canceled, so more than likely a doubleheader when the Blue Sox come to Eastfield the very next day on July 24th.
So yeah, trying to chase Utica, trying to chase a couple players, but as a couple teams I should say. But if you can catch up to Utica, that doubleheader will be big in terms of catching up to Utica. If you can win that both games in that doubleheader.
You've seen Mohawk Valley, the team that currently stands in that last spot. They're just a game above 500, and Glens Falls at one point this season was just one game behind 500. So the Dragons know what it's like to be close there. They just had a little bit of a skid over the last 2 weeks and have seen themselves at a 9-14 record. So 2 games against the Mohawks give them a prime opportunity to climb back, get between a game of Utica and 2 with Mohawk Valley. So very, very important indeed. All right, we're set from baseball here at East Field. It'll be the center fielder, Luke Filippilli, stepping in to the box. Dylan Harding's warm-up has completed. He comes to step in on the mound. Home plate umpire says play. Harding comes set. The first pitch is in there for strike 1, and we're underway here at East Field. Luke Philippi, we know he's got speed. That's why he's in the leadoff spot. But he's hitting just 169 this year as Harding takes an early step off. Philippi does have 10 stolen bases, one of just 2 players with double-digit steals in 2025. Bigger thing, though, how about 32 walks? As just like that, we'll now have the trainer and head coach Ryan Dio come out to go have a conversation with Dylan Harding, and this is not what you want to see for the Dragons after just 1 pitch.
Yeah, so something I feel like we should have noted earlier. It's 92 degrees in Glens Falls right now. We've got a heat advisory, and the heat may be getting to Dylan Harding, who's been out in the sun most of this afternoon. We're going to give him a glass of water.
One of the benefits of normal game times here at East Field is that with games starting at around 7 o'clock, it's a little bit easier to have the sun. It's setting down. It's getting a little bit cooler. And as the game progresses, even if it stays in that 80-degree range, you still stay pretty cool. The game now at 5 o'clock, this 90-degree weather, it's going to persist pretty much throughout the contest. Harding's back, though. The next pitch he throws just misses outside.
Yeah, there's not much shade here at East Field, so players who've been out on the field all day warming up and practicing like Harding have been subject to that 90-degree heat.
The 1-1 also misses outside, makes it 2-1. In the sun, it's just off to the right. And booms down kind of along that first base line. The 2-1 pitch. Misses low, makes the count 3-1. So, again, potentially that heat getting to Harding a little bit earlier than anticipated. Not ideal if you're the Dragons, who need their pitchers to cover 14 innings today. The 3-1 gets that one across and makes it a full count to the first batter. Mentioned Philippi's 32 walks. That's 12 more than the next closest guy. The payoff is in there for strike 3. Dylan Harding sends down Luke Philippi looking. The center fielder didn't take the bat off his shoulder. And it's out number 1 here in the top of the first. So now in steps the shortstop, Chris Holcraft. He watches the first pitch on that outside half, and Harding has dialed it in out there. Holcraft's hitting .284 so far. You mentioned those 6 doubles. That's second on the team in that category. Now we get a breaking ball from Harding. It just misses too far inside. But I also mentioned Luke Philippi. He had 32 walks. Well, Holcraft, he's got 20. That's second best. The 1-1 is fouled off to the right-hand side by the Dragons bullpen, but onto the concourse.
He seems like every Mohawks hitter has a way to hurt you offensively. They can draw walks, they can hit doubles. You got guys that just hit a lot of singles. They're on base percentage high. Regardless.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. And how about back-to-back Ks to start the game for Dylan Harding?
Got Holcraft the chase on a breaking ball that time, worked to perfection.
So now in steps the big first baseman and Brandon McCrane. McCrane, he's got a orange arm sleeve, the blue helmet. Loves to rep the school colors. The first pitch he sees lines it down the right field line, but it curves foul.
See an Auburn Tiger? That looks like Auburn on his helmet.
He is an Auburn Tiger. Just finished up his freshman season. Didn't play in a game, but you can understand why the Tigers want to recruit a guy like this when you stand 6'3", 180. The 0-1 is bounced in the dirt for ball one.
Yeah, and he's a slugging machine so far in the PGCBL. Highlighted him earlier in the game.
The 1-1 gets away from the catcher, Joe Haynes. Makes the count 2-1. First time we've seen a ball get behind the catcher. And we've seen some kind of platoon work. We saw on the 4th, Brendan McLaughlin behind the plate, who's much better defensively but a little worse offensively. Haynes has got the bat, maybe not so much the defense. Make sure he makes the defense there, holds a good strike on the outside half to even the count at 2 apiece. Harding comes set now. The 2-2, just too far outside. Second full count in 3 batters for Dylan Harding. The payoff. Runs inside, almost nails McCrane, but he'll walk his way down to first. So it's a 2-out walk for the first baseman to bring up the cleanup hitter, Will Cohen. Cohen so far this year, he's got a .325 batting average. 4 doubles to his name as well. But for a guy that's played in 12 games, as immediately McCrane's on the run, the throw down couldn't be caught by Savoca. McCrane was beat by about a step, but the ball was in and out of the glove of the second baseman, Gino Savoca. So McCrane grabs the extra 90 feet and puts himself in scoring position. How about the 7th stolen base from McCrane? The 0-1 is mashed out to deep left field. Back goes Gallagher. He settles underneath it and brings it in for out number 3. So a 2-out walk is nullified by Dylan Harding, who gets a flyout from Will Cohen to end the top of the first. We head to the bottom half, where Glens Falls needs to strike first. We're back at East Field for the bottom of the first. It a scoreless ball game. In the top half of the first, the Mohawks made it a little interesting at a 2-out walk from Brandon McCrane. He stole second, and then Will Cohen had a loud F7 to end the frame. Now the Dragons, they hope to maybe get on the board first, put some pressure on the best team in the PGCBL, and they're going to hand it off to their speedy center fielder, Tyree Jackson, to get things started. Again, it's Tristan Hunter on the mound. His first pitch outside for ball one. Jackson's hitting .290 so far this year. He's got just one double to his name as he's aggressive, as you can see on the 0-1. Pops it up into center field. In comes Philippi, who brings it in for out number one. So the aggressive Tyree Jackson hits the second pitch a mile high to the outfield.
Yeah,
but
not
it's
really
brought
enough
in
to work
easily.
the count.
So in steps the designated hitter, Trent Jenks. Mentioned him being one of the better hitters. He's struggled his last couple of games. Went from the best average on the team to now third behind Gallagher and Haynes. But still hitting .357 on the year. It's pretty impressive if I do say so myself as he watches the first pitch ball. Jenks has got 3 doubles, a triple to his name. He's aggressive, takes the 1-0 out of play. Jenks is also known to crowd the plate. He's got 4 hit by pitches so far this year. That leads the Dragons as well. Takes a big cut at an off-speed pitch. That bounces towards the dirt and makes the count 1-2.
His foot right on the inside of the line on the batter's box, his back foot, I should say. Kind of sticks his hands out over the plate.
The 1-2. Line back up the middle and into center for a base knock. Jenks will get to first, takes a small round towards second. And he had a good piece past Hunter to put a runner on with only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. So the first hit of the ball game belongs to Glens Falls. And now steps up the big slugger in Aiden Gallagher. He watches the first pitch low for ball one.
Chance for Glens Falls to get on the board early. Don't really need a guy in scoring position when you got a slugger like Gallagher.
He's hitting .364 this year. He's got 3 doubles, 2 homers. And his 2 home runs, one of just 14 players in the PGCBL to say that. Maybe not so good news. 2 of the guys across the diamond can also say they're one of 14 with 2 homers. It's going to be Brendan McCrane. And it's Bray Touchstone. So Gallagher watches the 2-0, nip the zone. Makes it 2-1. We saw McCrane, the orange arm sleeve, mentioned, STC talent in Auburn. Well, how about Kentucky talent on the mound? Runners on the move. The throw down, not in time, hits off of Jenks as he was sliding towards second. So he'll get in there easily and nab his 7th stolen base of the year to put himself in scoring position in a 2-2 count now to Gallagher. We mentioned Hunter goes to the University of Kentucky, Well, he made 9 appearances out of the bullpen, but only pitched a total of 5 2/3 innings. The 2-2 is fouled off over towards the Mohawk dugout. It was really back in high school where he made a name for himself. He was nationally ranked as the 218th player, but in the state of Missouri, a state that's known to produce some excellent baseball talent, he was the number 5 player in the entire state. Gallagher takes a big cut and misses on the 2-2, so now the former number 5 player picks up his first strikeout of the day.
Yeah, Amsterdam's got a lot of top recruits coming out of their high schools. I want to say McCrane was top 4 or 5 in the state of Georgia. Got another top 4 or 5 guy out of the state of Alabama. Goes to Alabama now.
So in steps the cleanup hitter, Gino Savoca. The first pitch that he sees is on the outside half for strike 1. Savoca not entirely had the best 2025 so far. His batting average maybe not necessarily where he likes it at just a 182, but he's got 16 walks. That leads the Dragons. He gets on base, but he hasn't really pushed the ball much, hence why you see the defensive alignment. The 0-1 pitch hits the outside half again, makes the count 0-2. Immediately, as soon as Savoca came to the plate, you saw Eric Downey, assistant coach for the Mohawks, come out of the dugout, and he shifted the entire outfield over a couple of steps, and you could see the infield also shifted to their left.
The big hole in left center, trying to get him to drive it the other way.
Savoca hasn't hit many balls to the left side of the field, as the 0-2 misses upstairs. So it's Jinx who stands on second. He had a 1-out base knock, the first hit of the day for either squad. Savoca in a 1-2 count. The pitch from Hunter is the runner's on the move. Savoca fouls it straight back. Dragons head coach Ryan Dio, who stands over at third, almost looked at Jinx kind of with a "what are you doing" sign. Doesn't seem to have any other reactions, standard for Dio. But Jinx goes back to second and it stays a 1-2 count to the cleanup hitter. The first lefty in the lineup that Hunter has to face. The 1-2 is hit over towards the second baseman, Young Jr., and he bobbles it out into shallow right field. They're going to send Jinx around. He'll come in to score easily, and Savoca even shakes his head. He knows he doesn't deserve it, but it doesn't matter. The Dragons lead it early. It's 1-0. So the error might not help Gino Savoca's batting average at all, but it most certainly does help his RBI numbers. Still gets the run batted in and gives Glens Falls an early lead against a dangerous offense. So in steps the shortstop, Joe Carpieres. He's first pitch swinging, but comes up empty-handed.
1-run lead early against Amsterdam is huge. Amsterdam typically leads early, so now you've got them on the back foot.
7th RBI of the season for Gino Savoca. The 0-1 missed well upstairs. And again, with this being a doubleheader, it's just a 7-inning ball game. But Amsterdam, they needed all 9 their last time out. Back on July 2nd, they picked up a 5-4 win over Utica, where they scored all 5 in the 9th. So the Mohawks needed those 9 innings before they could finally get over the hump against the Blue Sox team that's given them trouble this season. And the Dragons hope that same situation happens and they can just etch out the 7 innings they need to pick up a win, at least here in Game 1.
So far for Glens Falls, Dylan Harding's look like his usual self, so that might lean towards the case.
The 1-2. Misses inside. So we've got deuces wild here at Eastfield. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. For the 5-hole hitter, Joe Carpieres. An immediate shake from the pitcher, Tristan Hunter. He finally gets one he likes and comes set. The 2-2 is chopped foul. Late swing from Carpieres, who needed to fight one off. And gives himself another life. Home plate umpire Elliot Kennedy immediately said he wanted some more baseballs. So we got some. Kennedy behind the dish. Out in the field, it's Devin Rhodes. They'll switch spots for game number 2. The 2-2 is hit a mile high, but it's going to get out of play along the left field side. Carpier's got every stitch of that baseball. Almost hit it out of the stadium, out under the streets, but just well foul.
Got underneath that one, obviously, because he popped it right up. But yeah, like you said, if he connected square, that ball was gone.
Read it like a book coming out of the hand. Now he's got to redo the 2-2. Hunter is set. The pitch. He takes a half-hearted swing, and he goes all the way around. So it's 2 Ks for Tristan Hunter, but not before a run comes home to score off Gino Savoca, who reached via an error. It's a 1-run lead for Glens Falls over Amsterdam early. The Dragons get one in the bottom of the first and hand the ball back to their starter in Dylan Harding to keep it where it's at. Welcome back into Eastfield. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Mohawks to start it off in the top of the second. The first pitch now to Bray Touchstone is lined out into center field. Jackson with his quick speed comes in and brings it in for out number 1. Quick work for Harding to get that first out.
Yeah, get the bats back up. The bats were hot in the top of the first. Harding looking to have a shutdown inning.
Easy to have a shutdown inning when you're pitching to contact, something Harding does a lot. It's going to have to be careful with the dangerous lineup that through 5 batters has been held pretty mute. In steps the catcher, Danny Perez, who watches the first pitch strike.
The good news for Harding, Glens Falls has their better defensive lineup out there. Notably, I think Sweeney's more of a defensive upgrade at third compared to Enrique Diaz.
The 0-1 fouled off, makes the count 0-2. So Perez in the box. He's hitting just .227 so far this year. Another one of those hitters that across 13 games has got just 4 strikeouts and 5 walks. So he's putting the ball in play. Just maybe not finding the open areas as much as he'd like. Does have 2 sacrifice flies, though, to his name. That's second on the team behind Will Cohen. The 1-2 misses well too far outside. So really after that first batter, or that first pitch, I should say, where it looked like Dylan Harding might struggle today, he's been pretty solid, intentional with his pitches. The 2-2 is chopped off foul, straight into the catcher, Haynes. So Harding comes set. The 2-2. Well too far outside. And it's a third full count in the first 6 batters for Dylan Harding. The 3-2 is in there for strike 3. Third 3-2 count. Third count that's gone the way of the pitcher.
You couldn't ask for a better place pitch than that. High and outside. Fooled Perez.
So it's 3 strikeouts for Dylan Harding to bring up John Young Jr. And the second baseman, he's got a little bit of pop to his name. He's got 2 homers on the year. He's, like I mentioned earlier, one of 3 players in today's game, 3 of the 14 players across the entire league who have multiple home runs this season. To do that as a second baseman, you know there's some pop, but he's hitting just .218 overall. The 2-0 pitch is lined back up the middle and into center field for a base knock. Almost hit the feet of Harding, who had to tiptoe his way around the baseball. But it's another 2-out base runner for the Mohawks, with the designated hitter Wes Walker coming to the dish. So Young Jr. knocks the first base hit for Amsterdam today. And now they've got back-to-back lefties with an opportunity to make a mark. They're going to go check over at first with Young Jr. He gets back in there safely. The second baseman does have a little bit of speed for sure. He's got 15 runs that he's scored this year, only 12 hits. And so far, he's 6 for 7 on stolen base attempts this year. They're going to check on him again. Not in time. Says field umpire Devin Rhodes. Harding comes set. Now the first pitch to Walker is fouled off out of play to the left-hand side. Harding comes set. Now they're going to check on Young at first again. The third time. Just one pitch has come home to Walker.
Young in the back of Harding's mind.
As the 0-1 misses the outside half. Haynes did a good job to try to hold it. Instead, evens the count at 1 apiece.
Young's obviously a threat to run with 2 outs, but not very mobile on the base path.
They check on him for a 4th time. Back in there safely. He's got a sizable lead over at first. Nothing too crazy. Just around where that grass turns up towards the middle infield.
Yeah, taking a huge lead.
And now they're going to call time from home plate umpire.
Not taking huge secondary leads in Harding's windup either, but
The 1-1. A breaking ball got Walker swinging over the top. So the count becomes 1-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Glens Falls, they have a 1-0 lead thanks to Gino Savoca. The 1-2, runners on the move. The throw from Haynes is high. The tag is in time. A little bit of an off throw from the catcher, Joe Haynes. Doesn't matter. A great tag from Carpier's at short. And strands a runner to keep the score where it's at. It's 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the second here at East Field. A chance to add a couple more here in the bottom of the second. After Glens Falls grabbed an early lead, they can do some more damage to the best team in the PGCBL, the Amsterdam Mohawks. Starting it off for Glens Falls will be the right fielder, Robert Mello. He's had a little bit more playing time over the last couple games and has really solidified himself, especially as a lefty bat in this Dragons lineup that was missing that kind of lefty experience. It was only Savoca for a big portion of the time. Mello has solidified his spot as he takes a big cut on the 1-0.
definitely need some lefties sprinkled in a lineup. Had a lot of games where they went righty only, but Mello playing good is a great addition for this Dragon squad.
He takes the 1-0 pitch, lines it into center field, and gets down for a base hit. So the lefty starts off the bottom of the second to put himself on first with nobody out. In steps the big first baseman, Cameron Biller. Biller got the closing frames on the fourth against Boonville, and then was asked to go get the start at first. He watches that pitch upstairs. So we've seen Biller out of the bullpen a little bit this season. We've also seen him at the plate. Not been as successful hitting the ball this year, just a 152 average with no extra bases so far. As he takes a massive cut at the 1-0 Little high in the zone, but got underneath it for strike one.
Biller been good defensively, too, at first. Average not there, but defense and pitching-wise, he's been really good.
The 1-1 misses outside. And you may look at the numbers for Cameron Biller on the mound and say that's maybe not all too impressive. He's got a 9 ERA through 6 innings. He's allowed 6 earned runs, 5 hits, 6 walks, 6 Ks. But he's come in some pretty high leverage spots or times when the Dragons have leads and has been able to keep them where they're at. The 2-1 bounce foul off to the left-hand side.
I think he really struggled his first couple appearances, so that 9 ERA not quite indicative of what he's been able to do as of late. ERA used to be much higher at one point.
Hunter comes set. The 2-2. A check swing from Biller, fouled off his bat and in front of home plate. So a half-hearted swing from the first baseman. Fouls off the ball, and we'll redo the 2-2. Hunter takes a look over at Mello at first and comes set. The pitch is swung over the top of for strike 3. Biller goes down for the first out in the bottom of the second. Just the 4th strikeout across 16 games. Across 10 games started for Cameron Biller. As the catcher, Joe Haynes, steps in. He watches the first pitch in the zone for strike 1. Talk about a guy that's been hot as of late. Well, it's been the catcher, Joe Haynes. Had a 400 average. He's got 10 hits in 25 at-bats over 7 games started this season. The 0-1 he fouls it straight back. Only 3 Ks, 1 walk to his name. And not often that you see a catcher who's got a couple stolen bases as well. The 0-2. Well too high.
In this platoon between him and McLaughlin, he's the offensive guy. Look at the numbers jump out. Defensively, he's okay, but definitely put him in the games for his bat.
Against Amsterdam, you want every bit of offense you can get. The 1-2. Right down Broadway, a breaking ball from Hunter was beautifully placed. Picks up back-to-back strikeouts and looks to strand Mello at first. So now in steps the 9-hole hitter, Michael Sweeney. They're going to go check over with Mello at first. He gets back in there safely. Mello is 0 for 1 on stolen base attempts as they immediately go check on him again.
Trying to catch him off guard right there. After the pickoff, he immediately went back into his lead.
So now the first pitch to Sweeney is drilled out into the left center field gap. Over goes Harden and Philippi, but Philippi will call off the left fielder and bring it in for a loud out number 3. The Dragons had a chance with a leadoff hit. Instead, Tristan Hunter strands that guy. It's still 1-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd. The Dragons keep their 1-0 lead over the Mohawks here at East Field. Alongside Luke LaRose, I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. It'll be Wes Walker, the DH, that leads it off for Amsterdam. He was in the box during the last out when John Young Jr. was caught stealing the fourth runner that the catcher Joe Haynes has thrown out so far this year. Walker's first pitch swinging, gets it through the infield on the right-hand side, and starts the top of the third the same way the Dragons started the bottom of the second, a leadoff hit.
It was a great play by Carpier's to tag out John Young Jr. to end Amsterdam's last time up. Acrobatic tagged him on the head.
So Walker's leadoff base knock puts a runner on with nobody out for this dangerous Mohawks lineup. The first pitch now to Sebastian Harden is in there for strike one. You hear a couple of people say no way blue, as now we see Harden get his signs from the third base coach. There's a bunt attempt pitch. They'll ask if he went around. He did not. So the count will even at one apiece. You see a couple of smiles from the pitcher, Dylan Harding. Amsterdam maybe trying to play some small ball early. The 1-1 misses well too far outside.
Glens Falls seems to crack once a team can get multiple runners on in an inning. The defense starts to break down a little bit.
The 2-1 hit on the ground over towards Savoca at second. Flips to Carpier's at short. The throw to Biller is not in time. It pulled Biller off the mound, or off the base, but the Dragons get one first. So the first out of the inning comes on an excellent flip from Savoca to Carpier's for the 4-6 put out, and then Harding will reach on the fielder's choice to keep all the base runners where they're at, but add an out and move the ball to the third, or move the bat to the third baseman, Peyton Jemison. They're going to immediately go check on Harden at first. He gets back in there safely. Harden does have 7 stolen bases this year. Compare that to Walker, who has just 1. As the ball is bounced in the dirt, gets away from Haynes. The throw down is in time. Another excellent throw from Joe Haynes. Nabs Sebastian Harden trying to be too aggressive. And it's the second runner the catcher has thrown out today, his 5th of the year.
What a play by Haynes.
Savoca did an excellent job to cover the bag, and now there's 2 outs here in the top of the third. The 1-0 pitch misses upstairs. So the Mohawks started this inning with a leadoff single. Then a fielder's choice added an out. Now a caught stealing makes it 2. And Harding's 2-0 pitch finds that outside corner. He's loved that spot today. As the Dragons, they're a couple of pitches away from getting out of it.
The home plate umpire will keep giving him that call.
The 2-1's lined out into left field, and it gets down for a single. Grabbing it is Gallagher. He gets it in quickly, which means Jemison will stay at first and turn the lineup over for the Mohawks to bring in the center fielder, Luke Philippi. Philippi went down looking as the first batter of the game, and he's going to look at the first strike, curve in there. Philippi does have 11 RBIs to his name as the leadoff hitter. One of 6 guys with 10-plus runs batted in this year. The 0-1, another breaking ball. This one popped up out into shallow right field. Savoca goes out. In comes the right fielder, Mello. They almost collide, but it's Savoca who brings it down. So a lack of communication from Gino Savoca and Robert Mello, either way, brings in out number 3. So 2 hits in the top of the third don't matter as Glens Falls keeps it a 1-0 game. We're back at East Field for the bottom of the third between the Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Falls Dragons. It'll be the top of the lineup for Glens Falls to start this bottom of the third. In the center fielder, Tyree Jackson. Tristan Hunter, the starter for Amsterdam, is still out on the mound. His last pitch in warm-ups, nowhere close to the zone, actually flew over the catcher Perez and straight to the backstop. His first pitch this time to Jackson is a breaking ball that hits the zone.
Almost Jackson there.
Almost hit Jackson. Got him stepping out of the box early. As the 0-1 is a swing where Jackson comes up empty-handed.
One thing I want to note with Tristan Hunter, not gone very deep in very many games so far. So Glens Falls, as the game stretches on, I think they want to keep that highlighted. Only thrown 5 innings.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Jackson, but gets away from the catcher Perez, and with Jackson's speed, he'll reach first easily. So it goes down as a strikeout in the stat book for Tyree Jackson, but he reaches on the dropped third strike. And now the Dragons have got a speedy guy standing at first. Jackson solidified himself as the leadoff hitter. But he's not necessarily waiting to steal second as the first pitch to Trent Jenks is swung on, bounced in the dirt, gets away from Perez, but he keeps it in front. Jackson does have 5 stolen bases so far this year, and he's yet to be caught. And Dragons trying to add more. Jackson's on the move on the 0-1. The throw is high, and Jackson will make it 6 stolen bags in 2025. The count evens at 1 apiece for the designated hitter, Trent Jenks, who singled his last time up, put it right back where it came from into center field for a base knock. Would love another one of those to grab RBI number 6 this season.
Jackson's legs, probably his biggest threat offensively.
The 1-1, they're going to check on Jackson, who slipped, but no one was covering the bag. Both Holcraft and Young Jr., the shortstop and second baseman, were home. They weren't trying to hold on the speedy Jackson at second. So when Hunter stepped off and had Jackson dead to rights, Went to throw. No one was there. You see the third baseman, Jemison. He's playing on the grass, potentially in case of a bunt or a steal. The pitch popped up. This one will get out of play and make the count 1-2. Jinx, who singled, had a stolen base as well. So these Dragons being super aggressive early in this game. Hunter takes a look at Jackson and another. How about a third? The 1-2. A check swing too low. Evens the count at 2 apiece. So Jinx in the box. Hunter gets his sign to come set. Jinx follows. No look at second this time. That one's lined over or right at the shortstop, Holcraft. On a line from our vantage point up in the broadcast booth. Looked like it might have got over the shortstop. But instead, died just in time for out number 1.
Good piece of hitting, though. Almost found a hole.
So now in steps the left fielder, Aiden Gallagher. The team's RBI leader with 11. 4 more than anybody else on the squad. The first pitch he sees, he fouls it off. Out of play over towards the snack shack. Hunter comes set again. Takes a look at Jackson. Makes it 2. And gets a swing from Gallagher on the 0-1 to make it 0-2. The 0-2 misses outside. So now Hunter will come set once more. No look at Jackson. The 1-2 is in there for strike 3. Hunter gets a line out from Trent Jinks and then sits down Gallagher for the second time today. And now the Mohawks might strand the speedy Jackson at second.
That breaking ball kind of clips the low part of the zone. Gallagher thought it was too low. Home plate umpire did not. Perfectly placed pitch.
So in steps the second baseman, Gino Savoca. He's responsible for the sole run that scored today. As he's first pitch swinging, that one will get well out of play. Savoca reached via an error from John Young Jr. over at second. But because it was Jinx who was standing on second, and who's known for his speed as well, the misplay by the second baseman into the outfield allowed the sole run to come around and score. Savoca would be A-okay with that happening once more to double up the lead. The 0-1 bounced in the dirt. Jackson dancing at second. The 1-1. Outside.
Something I recently noticed Defensively, they have switched John Young Jr. and Jemison. John Young Jr. now at third for this inning. Jemison over at second.
The 2-1. That one's well too far outside. Savoca's worked himself into a 3-1 count. And that one right down Broadway, he makes the count full. It still is Young Jr. over at second. Jemison still stands over at third. It's Tyree Jackson who reached via a drop third strike to start the third inning. Then stole second with nobody out. It's been back-to-back outs as Jackson's on the move with a 3-2 pitch that's in there for strike three. So the Dragons had a prime opportunity to add some insurance. Instead, Tristan Hunter picks up 2 strikeouts, makes it 6 for him through 3 innings, and keeps it within reach for the Mohawks. Quick warm-up for Glens Falls starter Dylan Harding, who's trying to make it another quick inning against the heart of this Amsterdam lineup. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Chris Holcraft leads it off for Amsterdam. He was the first swinging strikeout of the day for Harding as he takes the first pitch deep to left field. Gallagher goes back towards the wall. Can't bring it in. It bounces off the wall. The throw in is late, but Holcraft takes the first pitch and makes it a double.
Good effort by Gallagher on that one at least, but long run, the wall kind of juts in awkwardly.
7th double of the year for Chris Holcraft. His first base hit of the day, and he becomes one of 3 players on this Mohawk squad with 7 or more doubles. In steps the first baseman, Brandon McCrane. He watches that one bounce in the dirt. So one of the downsides of Dylan Harding pitching towards contact is that occasionally you'll give up big hits like that. Did so in his last start on June 28th against Saugerties. The 1-0 is in there for strike 1. The good news is that when you can force weak contact, which he does more often than not, the infield defense in particular has played excellently well.
fairly deep park here at Eastfield, though the left field's the shorter end.
The 1-1 missed outside. So Holcraft standing at second has got a team-leading 15 stolen bases to his name. That's why you see Gino Savoca really shaded towards that second base bag. The 2-1 outside makes the count 3-1. The concern is that McCrane, who reached via a walk his first time up, hit a couple of baseballs off towards that right-hand side, his last AB. The 3-1 is lined. This one into shallow right field. It'll get down for a base knock. Mello grabs it. They're going to send a runner towards home. The throw is not in time. A one-hopper that died on the infield grass made it a tough play for Haynes as McCrane picks up an RBI single, and this game is tied.
Perfectly placed ball by McCrane right over the head of Savoca. Notably, I don't think Mello moved or reacted to that play. Thought Savoca was going to have it the whole way through. It was off for the races for Holcraft.
Holcraft's got some speed. It was going to be a tough play, and really a close one at the plate. Haynes made a great attempt, just not in time to grab it. So the right fielder, Will Cowan, steps up to the plate. He had a loud first out as immediately on the first pitch, McCrane's on the move, and Cowan puts that one down the right field line for a base knock. Mello gets it. They're going to send McCrane to the plate. He's going to reach safely, and Cowan stands on second. So a double, a single, and another double flips this game on its head. The Mohawks now lead it 2-1 in the top of the fourth.
Two great at-bats by Amsterdam. Put one down the right field line. Notably, that one was picked off over by first, and then the throw down, the relay throw not in time.
So Cowan knocked his fifth double of the year, his sixth RBI of the season. McCrane, who was also first pitch swinging, picked up RBI number 24 here in 2025. The first pitch now to Bray Touchstone is in there for strike one.
I think notably after those last few batters, Glens Falls got some movement in their bullpen. Connor Trudeau throwing now.
The 0-1 misses upstairs. So McCrane, his 24th RBI, that makes it one closer and gives him sole position of second in the PGCBL in runs batted in. The only person ahead of him is the Saugerty Stallions infielder Justin Ford. The 1-1 is in there. Makes the count 1-2. So it wasn't if this Amsterdam lineup would explode, it was a matter of when. They got to Dylan Harding here in the fourth, and there's still nobody out with a runner standing at second. The 1-2. Breaking ball in there for strike three. Touchstone goes down looking for the fourth strikeout of Dylan Harding's day, and a much-needed out number one.
Get out big. Dylan Harding going to have a short memory to try to salvage this inning.
So the catcher, Danny Perez, steps into the box. He went down looking his first time up, and he looks at the first pitch strike. Harding comes set. The 0-1 is a big cut. Perez not at all happy at the fact he swung at it. Makes the count now 0-2. So it's Cowan who stands over at second, with Perez at the plate who already went down looking once today. The 0-2. Just missed the outside half. Haynes liked the pitch. Home plate umpire Elliot Kennedy did not.
He's gotten that call on similar pitches, but not that time.
The 1-2. Breaking ball. Got this one too far outside to make the count 2-2. Harding comes set. Dancing over at second. The pitch is lined. This one will get down out in right field. Mello comes up with it. They're going to send Cohen towards the plate. The throw cut off by Biller and no attempt at the plate. Danny Perez makes it a 3-run ball game. Amsterdam's now out in front 3-1 here in the top of the 4th.
Matt Gonzalez is going to come up and talk to Harding. I think notably this stretch of hits all to right field.
All of them righties as well. Taking the ball the other way as you see Robert Mello out there. Hands on his knees, getting a second to just kind of reflect. The Dragons, especially with today's game being a doubleheader, into the 4th inning, so it's the halfway point pitching-wise for Glens Falls. Would love to just get through this inning and have to limit the amount of arms that are used today. Hence why you see a guy like Connor Trudeau up and warming in the pen, because he can eat up 3 innings no problem. But obviously the Dragons still want to walk out with a victory. And it's still a ball game, only 3-1, which, if that's how this game ends, it'll be a pretty nice day against the dangerous and the best team in PGCBL history, the Amsterdam Mohawks. So Danny Perez single makes it 3 runs home as John Young Jr. hits one out to center field. Jackson's got to go back just a little bit, but he brings it in for out number 2. So now the designated hitter, Wes Walker, steps to the plate. He started the 3rd inning off with a single. And that was really when you thought maybe this Mohawks team would start to tee off a little bit on Dylan Harding. He was on the bad side of a fielder's choice. The first pitch he sees, he lines into center field, and it gets down for a hit. Jackson comes up with it, but Perez was originally trying to go first to third. Instead, he'll settle in at second. So first pitch swinging for Wes Walker, just like his last at-bat, makes his second base knock of the day to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Sebastian Hardin. It's very rare that you see an inning look the way that it does right now. 3 runs, so as it stands so far, 3 runs on 5 hits with no errors, and it could be 2 runners left on if Harding can continue to get swings and misses out of Hardin like he did just then.
Yeah, not much gone Harding's way. Got a chance to limit the damage and get the bats back up, but I'd imagine that one is outside. This afternoon's coming to an end.
The 1-1 from Harding is in there for a strike, too. Harding has done an excellent job at hitting that outside half. His location out there has been excellent. It's just been this Amsterdam team that's an excellent hitting team has taken it the other way. You see a motion from the third base the third base coach, almost like he's inviting Perez to steal third. The 1-2 is chopped on the ground foul towards the third base side. So no steal from Perez, who stands on second. Walker, who is over at first. It's the 9-hole hitter, Sebastian Harden, who's in a 1-2 count with 2 outs. He's in the box. He reached via a fielder's choice his last time up and then was caught trying to steal second. The 1-2 is chopped back towards Harding on the mound. He's going to run over towards Biller at first and flip it for out number 3. So Amsterdam finally cracks the scoreboard and does some damage. They now lead it 3-1 as we reach the halfway point here in game number 1. We're back for the bottom of the 4th, where Glens Falls now trails by 2. It's 3-1 in favor of the Mohawks. Joe Carpier's the shortstop. He steps into the box trying to spark some offense and maybe get a couple more hits off the starting pitcher, Tristan Hunter. The 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2. So Glens Falls has done a good job today. Seems like they do most days getting on base. It's then the problem of bringing those runs home to score as Carpier's fouls that one off home plate and off his back.
And we've mentioned it in previous broadcasts. They do leave a lot of guys on towards the top of the league in that regard, but they've got to figure out how to stretch guys across home plate.
The 0-2. Bounced in the dirt. Makes the count 1-2. The 1-2 now is swung on and missed. Carpier goes down swinging for the second time today. And it's the 7th strikeout for Tristan Hunter. 70% of your outs through 3 1/3 are strikeouts, and take that pretty much any time.
Hunter's having a great start.
Robert Mello steps in. He's first pitch swinging down the first base line, and it's fair. It gets all the way into the corner as Mello hits the bag, heads towards second. You see him. They're waving him towards third. The throw in. It's cut off. They make no throw towards the bag. And Mello stands 90 feet from home. His first triple of 2025.
Great piece of hitting. Barely dodges the bag, barely dodges the glove of McCrane. Gets down, he books it. maybe a little bit of redemption for last inning. Amsterdam seemed to target him. Multiple hits in his direction.
So Glens Falls got a runner just 90 feet away to cut this deficit in half. Cameron Biller, the big first baseman, fouls his first pitch well off into the parking lot. Biller so far this year, he's got just 2 RBIs to his name. Again, not hitting all that well, just 152. That's what his slugging percentage stands at as well. But anything from Biller hit massively out into the outfield will do a job. The 1-1. Broken bat hit over towards the shortstop Holcraft. The throw to first will get Biller, but a run will score. So a sacrifice from the first baseman makes this a 1-run ball game again. It's now 3-2, Mohawks in front. So Biller picks up RBI number 3 this season, as the bases are cleared for the catcher Joe Haynes, who takes a massive cut at the first pitch. Haynes went down looking his first time up as he takes the 0-1, pops it out into right field. Cowan's got to go over, loses it a little bit, has got to make some more move towards the right field foul line, but finally grabs it for out number 3. So we head to the top of the 5th after a quick bottom of the 4th, but the Dragons grab one more and make it a 3-2 ball game. Welcome back to East Field for the top of the 5th. Dylan Harding, the starter, his day has come to an end. After 4 innings of work, he gave up 8 hits, allowed 3 runs, walked just 1 batter, and struck out 4, 3 of which he sent down looking. Taking over on the mound will be Connor Trudeau. He's getting his 4th appearance here in 2025. He's got to face 10, 1, and 2 in this absolutely dangerous Amsterdam lineup. The first pitch to Peyton Jemison is in there for strike 1. So far this season, Trudeau's got a 5.68 ERA through those 3 appearances, where he does have a 1-1 record across 6 1/3 innings. Takes the 0-1, bounces it almost in the lefty batter's box. Evens the count at 1 apiece.
Trying to throw a slider and just spiked that one.
The last time Trudeau took the mound for the Dragons was back on June 21st against the Boonville Lumberjacks out in Boonville, where he went 2 innings, gave up 5 runs on 4 hits, Only struck out 1 run. The bad part is he gave up a long ball. His sole long ball given up this season. So it didn't help the ERA when you give up 5. 4 of them were earned, though, so 1 falls on the defense. But was getting hit around pretty rough against the Lumberjacks. The 0-1-2 misses upstairs. He actually got the start in that game, Luke, where he only walked 1 batter. But again, those 4 hits, they were just pummeling hits as the 2-2 is hit to straightaway center field. Jackson rolls back towards the fence, stops at the warning track to bring it in for out number 1. So a loud first out welcomes Connor Trudeau out of the bullpen, but keeps the score right where it's at. It's still 3-2 here in the top of the 5th.
Interesting fact about the Trudeau start. You've seen him here at home only come out of the bullpen. I know both of us don't make the trip out to Boonville, but interesting to see that he got at least 1 start this year.
Got that in a doubleheader as well, as the first pitch he now throws to Luke Philippi is upstairs for ball 1.
Be interesting to see what Glens Falls does for their starter in game 2. Interesting to see what they do with their roster. We haven't heard anything yet from Ryan Dio.
The 1-0 is chopped over towards the third base bag, but it just hits to the left of the bag and goes foul. Back when these 2 teams were supposed to face off, which what would have been Thursday, July 3rd, Tristan Hunter was supposed to get the start for the Mohawks. He got that start today. It was supposed to be Xavier Garcia getting the start for the Dragons. So wonder, since he hasn't pitched since then, if he will be available in game 2. The 1-1 is a bunt attempt that's pulled back, and it's pulled back in time for ball 2.
We already know what Amsterdam's going to do minus the starter. Their head coach came up with both lineups. Ryan Dio going to go with the flow.
The 2-1 is in there, even though I got away from the catcher, Joe Haynes. So it'll even the count at 2 apiece. So again, wonder if starter Xavier Garcia is waiting in the wings, but this is a hectic couple of days for Glens Falls. Saugerties tomorrow, Amsterdam again on Tuesday, 3rd time in 3 days, and then Mohawk Valley on Wednesday. The 2-2 is chopped weakly off to the right-hand side. Savoca's got a run in, tries to grab it bare hand and can't. It's going to go down as a single for Luke Philippi, his first of the ball game, and puts a runner on with only 1 out here in the top of the 5th.
Would have been a tough place for Savoca had he come up with that one. Philippi, as we know, has got some fast legs. That ball hit kind of softly, booking it down the line.
He's their leadoff hitter for a reason. He's used to having those wheels to get down the first baseline. In steps the shortstop, Chris Holcraft. Philippi's on the run on the first pitch. Holcraft takes a swing. Haynes, an excellent throw, but it pulled Savoca in front of the bag. And Philippi was able to get his foot in there easily. And now we see the center fielder who slid into second pick up the bag here at East Field. And we've seen some problems with this second base bag before. So it's going to take us a couple of minutes to get this one set and organized. An excellent jump from Philippi, but an even better throw, arguably, from Joe Haynes. Savoca just grabbed it a couple of feet too far in front of the bag, couldn't apply the tag down instead.
Yeah, Philippi really, really quick. Even if that throw is on line, he's a decent chance that he beats it out. But second time in 2 games we've had an issue with second base. Happened back on the 4th, the base popped out.
So Philippi grabs stolen base number 11 in 2025. He'd been caught 4 times this season as well, so Haynes almost made it 5th. But, you know, throughout the day, we were talking a little bit about how Brendan McLaughlin is the defensive catcher, Joe Haynes is the offensive catcher. But I mean, you got to give credit to Haynes so far this season. 5 for 12 on stolen base attempts. I
Yeah.
mean, he's gunning guys almost 50% of the time.
He's been great throwing. I think what we've highlighted with Haynes is, especially earlier in the year, he struggled with keeping the ball in front of him. Had a lot of pass balls, had a lot of wild pitches. So far tonight, he's been good keeping the ball in front of him. He hasn't really been tested like that, but he's been stellar trying to throw those guys out at second.
Been great with the arm behind home plate. Would like to keep a couple more of those balls bounced in the dirt in front. But they haven't really hurt Glens Falls yet today. Still a whole other game after this one. And a 2 1/3 inning of defense for the Dragons in game number 1. Second base is all cleared out, which means Connor Trudeau can get back to work on the mound with Luke Philippi at second and the shortstop Chris Holdcraft watching the 0-1 pitch in for strike 2.
Trudeau and Haynes use that stoppage to talk over some strategy.
Make sure they're on the same page. Seen a couple of mistakes so far this year. The 0-2, another broken bat. This one hit over towards the shortstop Carpier's. The throw to first is in time. Gets the quick shortstop Chris Holdcraft running down the base paths for out number 2, but Philippi moves the extra 90 feet over to third and put a runner ever so close to home with 2 outs now. And Holdcraft was who got that big 4th inning for the Mohawks started. He started it with a double, and then McCrane, the first baseman who steps in now, followed it with an RBI single. The first pitch from Trudeau is bounced in the dirt. Haynes does a good job to pick it. Makes it a 1-0 count. The 1-0 is hit out to deep left field. Gallagher going back. It's hit high, and he'll stop at the warning track to grab it for out number 3. Gallagher goes to throw the ball in. The entire infield's left, so he's just going to have to run it in himself. But either way, Glens Falls keeps it just a 3-2 game as we head to the bottom of the 5th. And the Dragons offense collecting some more runs. Welcome back to East Field in a 3-2 ball game where the Glens Falls Dragons trail by 1. It's the bottom of the 5th with a new pitcher on the mound for Amsterdam. Cole Miller gets his second appearance here in 2025. He's got to face 9, 1, and 2 in the Glens Falls lineup. Sweeney squares the bunt, pulls back in time, almost like he was trying to hit kind of a swinging bunt, went all the way around the batter's box before he steps back in for the 1-0 pitch. Quick work from Miller, who gets a nice two-seamer that broke back. It looked like it was going to hit Sweeney along the belt line and had some good action back towards the 1-1. This time bunted straight back towards the pitcher. The throw over towards first is in time, and a bad butt attempt from Michael Sweeney turns the lineup over for Tyree Jackson. So Hunter, whose day ends after 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, only one of which was earned. And he didn't walk anybody, but he struck out 8. 8 batters Tristan Hunter struck out through the first 4 innings.
Dominant.
Sets up the new guy, Cole Miller. And mentioned only one appearance so far this year where he went just 1 inning, but he got the win. As the 1-0 pitch he throws to Tyree Jackson is swung on and missed. The first time we saw Cole Miller, it was on July 1st against Saugerties in an 11-8 win. He pitched 1 inning, didn't give up a hit or a run, and he struck out 2 batters in the process. So the 2-1 pitch to Jackson's in the dirt, make it 3-1. Miller, a big lefty. The 3-1 fouled off to the right-hand side over into the parking lot. Jackson lines one over towards the third baseman, Jemison. He nabs it on a hop, delivers a throw that's bounced over towards McCrane, and it gets past the first baseman. So another error for the Mohawks. Puts a runner on, and a speedy one at that. So Jackson he's reached base now with some interesting at-bats. Back in the third. Oh, and now we've got field umpire Devin Rhodes saying towards someone in the Dragons dugout that they're done talking. Get some fans who aren't happy about it, but somebody
Interesting.
in the Dragons dugout had some words as the field umpire Devin Rhodes continues to look towards the dugout. Again, it's just game 1, and Rhodes will be behind the plate for game number 2. It's the first pitch now to Trent Jinks is in there for strike 1.
I don't know why he would be yelling at the Glens Falls dugout. Not yelling, but I don't know why the Glens Falls dugout would be displeased with the error.
The 0-1 bounces in the dirt. Maybe not so much to do with the play itself, but towards this Mohawks team. And it gets a little heated whenever these two squads play, as the 1-1 is inside for ball 2. Earlier this season, you'll remember, a very close game. Amsterdam walked off the Dragons 10-9 at home for the Mohawks. So a chippy game back and forth then. That's kind of continued over ever since, even though maybe their records might be a little lopsided. These two teams that don't inherently like each other.
No, Glens Falls has always kept these games close. Maybe sometimes not on the winning end, but kept the games close.
The 2-2. Jackson's on the move. The pitch is in there for strike three. The throw is in time. So a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. Strands a runner. And now the Dragons, they're running out of time. We head to the top of the sixth and still a one-run ball game here at East Field. Two innings to go here in game one of a doubleheader between the Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Falls Dragons. Amsterdam currently has a 3-2 lead, as it'll be 4, 5, and 6 that headed off for the Mohawks. Connor Trudeau steps back out on the mound, and there was a nice long conversation between Dragons head coach Ryan Dio and the field umpire Devin Rhodes. Pitching coach Matt Gonzalez came out as well to have a couple of words. He went back to the dugout in frustration, as maybe a little bit of a frustration pitch there from Connor Trudeau as it's well outside.
Do you know Matt Gonzalez was not happy when the infield umpire went over to talk to the Dragons bullpen? I don't know if that was directed towards him, but we won't know.
So long conversation, didn't really seem like either party got on the same page as Trudeau throws another ball outside. But the Dragons had an opportunity in the bottom half of the fifth with speedy Tyree Jackson on first to bring around a run. Instead, to strike him out, throw him out to end the inning, it's the first time Tyree Jackson's been caught stealing this season. It happens at a big-time moment where the game could have been tied. The 2-0 misses upstairs, makes the count 3-0. It's the right fielder, Will Cowan, who's in the box. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. His hit, it was a double down the first base line as the 3-0 finally gets across and Trudeau back in rhythm. The 3-1 is outside for ball 4. So the first free pass given up by Connor Trudeau is to the leadoff batter in the top of the sixth. That brings in the extra hitter, Bray Touchstone, who's a rare 0 for 2 today. Struck out and a line out to his name. He hit the ball well out towards center field back in the second. They're immediately going to go check on Cowan at first. He gets back in there easily. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. Now we're seeing Trudeau lose the zone a little bit, something he suffered with occasionally this season, but has usually been able to figure it out and turn it around. They're immediately going to check over it with Cowan again at first. The 1-0. Outside. Haynes was going to go check down at first, but didn't have good grip of the ball. And that allows Cowan to not only get back in time, but read that might be coming once more. The 2-0 is low for ball 3, and now it's back-to-back 3-0 counts given up by Connor Trudeau.
Glens Falls is going to need Trudeau to find the zone, partly because they don't want this inning blowing open, but partly because they don't want to use any more arms than necessary.
The 3-0 hits the top half of the zone. Back-to-back batters that have gone from 3-0 to 3-1. Last time, ball outside. So Trudeau comes set. 3-1 pitch now is the runner on the move. Chopper that gets right into the glove of Sweeney. The throw across the diamond is in time. So a high chopping ball caught Sweeney off guard. Had to take a step back, jumped up to grab it before delivering a strike across the diamond to Biller for out number 1. Cowan will advance over to second, though. And now there's a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Good defensive play there.
So it's Danny Perez who steps into the box. He's 1 for 2 today. Had a single back in that big 4th inning that gave Amsterdam their lead. The first pitch he sees hits on the ground over towards Carpier's at short. The throw to third gets the lead runner. A heads-up play from Joe Carpier's throws to Sweeney at third to get Cowan, who is trying to steal 90 feet. That'll be out number 2, which allows Perez to reach via a fielder's choice, but now he stands at first.
Sweeney was going to try to turn 2 there, throw across the diamond, might have had it, but Cowan lands on him and negates that play.
No slide from Cowan. He didn't even imagine the throw could be coming in. Instead, just kind of ran over Michael Sweeney at third. Now the first pitch to John Young Jr. is swung over the top of. Young Jr. is 1 for 2 today. He had a single. That one, though, back in the second. He flew out for the second out in the 4th. He watches the 0-1 hit the outside half to make the count 0-2. Trudeau shakes off the first pitch and comes set. Takes a quick glance at Perez at first. Delivers the pitch. It's fouled off. Young Jr. did a good job to foul off the breaking ball inside. The count stays 0-2.
Despite his struggles earlier in the inning in regards to finding the zone, Trudeau's found the zone and has put together a really solid inning, 1 strike away from getting out of it.
The 0-2 gets away from Haynes right underneath him. You see no attempt from Perez to move to second. The 1-2 is lined now into the right center field gap. It's going to get down for a base knock. Mello comes in from right field, hits the cutoff man in Savoca as Perez goes first to third on a 2-out single from Young Jr. So the second single of the day for John Young Jr. puts runners on the corners with 2 outs, and the designated hitter, Wes Walker, comes to the dish. The DH, yeah, he's 2 for 2 today, both with base knocks in the third and the fourth. The first pitch he sees is in there for strike 1. Trudeau quick to come set, taking a look over at first. The 1 outside. Just like Harding found home on that outside half, Trudeau has done an excellent job at doing the same. The 1-1 is right down Broadway.
Good pitch.
Couldn't get any easier, that one is. Trudeau's 1 pitch away. The 1-2 is outside. Runners on the move over towards second. Young Jr. will take it with ease. No throw from Haynes behind the plate. So now 2 runners in scoring position as Young Jr. finally gets that stolen base after getting caught his first attempt back in the second. And now a 2-2 count to Wes Walker.
No need to risk that ball getting by the shortstop and possibly scoring a run. Just going to let him take that bag.
In a 1-run ball game nonetheless. The 2-2 is lined through the infield and into right. Mello's going to bring it in. No throw towards the plate. It's going to score 2. Perez comes in. Young Jr. comes in. And Wes Walker has his 3rd single of the day. This one, the biggest. It's for 2 RBIs. And Amsterdam has got a 3-run lead again.
This game's starting to get out of hand for Glens Falls.
So in steps the left fielder, Sebastian Hardin. He watches the first pitch outside for ball 1. Hardin so far is 0 for 2, reached via a fielder's choice and grounded out to the pitcher. He was also caught stealing when he reached via fielder's choice. 1 of 2 stolen runners from catcher Joe Haynes as the 1-0 runs inside and nails Hardin. So the first hit batter of the game now puts runners on first and second with 2 outs.
This inning's been a real slog for Trudeau. Couldn't find the zone, then he found it. Let up a couple hits. Had a couple runs scored, just hit Hardin.
I mean, this Amsterdam team doing what they do best. 5 runs on 11 hits. Even with their 2 errors, their offense has nullified it. The first pitch to Peyton Jemison is out into shallow center field. Jackson comes in. He's got wheels. Brings it in with ease. Leaves the hat out there in center. But stops the bleeding. So now the Dragons have just 3 outs to work with as we head to the bottom of the 6th. 6 outs to go here in game number 1, where the Dragons need to come back from 3 because of a rough top of the 6th from Connor Trudeau. It's really been the 4th and the 6th inning that have been blow-up innings, or really where you could say Amsterdam has just finally clicked. Back on the mound for the Mohawks is Cole Miller. The first pitch he throws to the left fielder, Aiden Gallagher, is in there for strike 1. Gallagher takes a big cut at the 0-1 pitch, but can't go much further than where Philippi brings it in. So 2 pitch brings in the first out. And Gino Savoca steps to the plate. Savoca's 0 for 2 today. Went down looking back in the 3rd and reached via an error in the 1st. That error that he reached on allowed a runner to come home and score. So you thought maybe Glens Falls, who got on the board first, might capitalize on it. Instead, Amsterdam's electric offense struck next, and they struck big. Put on 3. The Dragons would respond in the bottom half of the 4th to make it just a 1-run ball game, but then 2 more from the Mohawks in the top of the 6th get us to where we are at 5-2. Savoca's watched the 1-1 outside, makes the count 2-1.
Savoca's had a good game 1, reach on an error. He's played good defense.
The 2-1. In there for strike 2. Savoca not at all happy. Immediately after the pitch was called a strike, stepped out of the box, took his left hand off the back, slapped his leg. Now he gets back into the box, shaking his head. The 2-2 is a breaking ball outside. They'll ask if he went around, and they'll say he did. Savoca looks down at field umpire Devin Rhodes. He's not happy. Turns around to the home plate umpire, Elliot Kennedy, looks and says some things, and storms back towards the Dragons' dugout after out number 2. It's the second strikeout for Cole Miller ahead of the bullpen, as he now gets to face the shortstop Joe Carpier's. First pitch is well outside. Looked like Miller just kind of fell off the mound.
Miller's fastball, too's got a lot of life. It's got a late cut to it.
Almost looks like more of a sinker or a 2-seam than your traditional 4-seam fastball. As the 1-0 hits that outside half for strike 1.
You can see it right there, that late little movement, 2-seam action, sink action, whatever it is.
The 1-1, another one. This one looked like a changeup. Just pulled the string and got Carpier swinging. Quickly made it 1-2. The 1-2. Just low. The entire Amsterdam staff thought that might have been one. Instead, we'll redo the 2-2. That one's chopped over towards the left side. Jemison picks it up, throws on the run, is in time. So it's a quick bottom of the 6th inning for Cole Miller and the Mohawks. They've got a chance with more insurance as we head to the top of the 7th. Welcome back for the 7th and final inning here in game number 1 of this doubleheader alongside Luke LaRose. I'm Nathaniel Cunningham. The new pitcher on the mound for the Dragons. It's Chase Falcon taking over for Connor Trudeau. Falcon's got to face 1, 2, and 3 in this Amsterdam lineup. The first pitch he throws is upstairs. They check down to see if he went, and he did not for ball 1. Falcon so far is appearing in his 6th game. He's got a 6.75 ERA across 9 1/3 innings. He throws the 0-1 in there for strike 1. Falcon quickly comes set. The 1-1 is outside and makes the count 2-1. Falcon's known to play a little bit outfield and pitcher, kind of one of those back and forth guys for the Dragons. As the 2-1's fouled out of play over towards the right side bleachers. The last time Falcon took the mound for Glens Falls, well, that was on June 28th against Saugerties in the 5-4 win, where he went an inning, allowed 2 hits and 2 runs, didn't strike anybody out, though. As the 2-2 pitch goes well above the glove of Joe Haynes, makes the count full.
You can see that one slipped out of his hand on his release.
The payoff is upstairs, and the first batter Chase Falcon faces is the speedy Luke Philippi, who will waltz his way down to first base. So in steps the shortstop, Chris Holcraft. Holcraft so far today, he's 1 for 3 with a run scored. He started the scoring back in the 4th, where he had a leadoff double. The first pitch is in there for strike 1.
He's one of Amsterdam's best hitters. You'd like to try to keep him off the score sheet in this at bat. Try to keep this game in reach for your last opportunity in the bottom of the 7th.
Falcon taking a lot of looks over at Philippi as he's on the move. The 0-1 was hit down but foul along the first baseline. Just out the outstretched hands of Cameron Biller dove along the line. So instead, Philippi will have to go back towards first. He was trying to move on the hit and run. Making an 0-2 count for Chris Holcraft. The 0-2 swung on and missed. First strikeout for Chase Falcon out of the bullpen. Gets the first out here in the top of the 7th.
Good at bat against a dangerous hitter. Gets him to chase high. McCrane, who's up next. Difficult at bat as well.
So in steps the first baseman, Brandon McCrane, who's 1 for 2 today. With a walk, a single, a stolen bag, an RBI, a run scored. As the runner's on the move, the first pitch, the throw from Haynes is in time, and that got Philippi by a mile. Have a day, Joe Haynes. Your 3rd runner thrown. Eliminates the base paths completely. And now Falcon can worry about the dangerous hitter in the box. The 0-1 is in there for strike 2, and now Falcon's just 1 away. Falcon comes set. The 0-2 pitch is well upstairs, even outside of the outreached arms of Joe Haynes. Straight to the backstop for ball one. The 1-2. Outside. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Gets a big swing from Brendan McCain on the 2-2 pitch to end the top of the 7th. The Dragons, they've got 3 outs to work with as we head to the bottom of the 7th in Game 1 of tonight's doubleheader. Welcome back to East Field for the bottom of the 7th, where the Dragons trail the Mohawks 5-2. Cole Miller, the reliever for Amsterdam, his day is done after 2 innings, gave up no hits, no runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 2. Taking over on the mound is the righty Mason Vernezzi. The first pitch that he throws to the 6-hole hitter Robert Mello is outside for ball 1. The 0-1 also misses outside, makes it 2-0. Veronese is getting his first bit of action here in 2025. The 2-0, he finally gets one across. But Veronese pitched last season for Coastal Alabama North Community College, where he appeared in 7 games, and he started 6 of them. Across those 7 games, he had a 1-3 record, where he threw 2 complete games. It was 30 innings of work in 2024-25, where he gave up 20 runs, 16 of which were earned. He had just 9 walks and 16 strikeouts for a 4.8 ERA. He's worked himself into a quick 2-2 count against Robert Mello. The pitch is swung on and missed. He comes out of the bullpen to make quick work of the right fielder, and is 2 outs away from getting his first save in 2025.
Not a great start if you're Glens Falls and you want to try to win this game. Veronese looks solid against Biller. Not Biller. Mello.
It's Biller who steps into the box now. He's 0 for 2 today. Or excuse me, 0 for 1. Reached via sacrifice. Takes a check swing there. Hits it on the ground to short at Holcraft. He throws across the diamond in time to get the first baseman. And a weak contact from Veronese makes it out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Kind of unlucky from Biller. You could tell he checked his swing. He didn't want to hit that one, but down to their final out.
Now hitting is the catcher, Joe Haynes. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout to his name. First pitch he sees is high for ball 1. Haynes takes a big cut at the 1-0. Evens it at 1 apiece. That one's popped up along the outside of the infield. Young Jr. will settle underneath it and bring it in for out number 2. So just like that, Amsterdam takes game number 1. Your final, 5-2. The Mohawks on top. So very quickly, game number 1 has come to an end. Just 10 minutes here after 7 o'clock. So we're going to step aside for about 20-25 minutes while the players can calm down, maybe get a little bite to eat, and get ready for game number 2. We'll be live once more, not only on our Facebook, but our YouTube page at Glens Falls Dragons. So make sure you tune in there for game 2 between the Amsterdam Mohawks and the Glens Falls Dragons.